Buddy McGirt. Everybody knows Buddy McGirt, right? I don't know if Buddy McGirt said this or not. I didn't personally hear him say it. I read somewhere that Buddy McGirt said that if you've never boxed, you couldn't be a good boxing coach. And I mean, it's it's a good theory, But honestly, is that true? So the topic I want to talk about really right now is, can you be a good coach if you have never boxed? I'm your host, Sheik Brown-EL, my co-host, Rock Pitts.
What's going on, brother?
So this is a Counterpunch Conversations is a captivating podcast, to say the least, where we're going to delve into various topics. We're going to talk about a lot of different hot topics in boxing, a lot of the current events. We're even going to go back, talk about, historical moments, historical legends and things like that. And, we'll get into some debates. To be highly spirited, I would say. It's going to be a show where we going to get into a lot of debates and just discuss the hot topics in boxing. We have some guests on from time to time, and just explain a little outline of the show so you understand what it's about. So when we have guests, we'll welcome the guests to the ring. Mm-hmm. Be cliche, but it's got to do with boxing. So
exactly,
whatever, So we'll welcome the guests to the ring. Before we discuss topics, as we get on to various topics, you'll hear this sound. That'll begin the topic, just like if you were coming to the ring.
Come to the ring, we're going to pound up.
yeah. All of that. So when we have guests, ETC, we'll say things like, welcome our guests, so-and-so, so forth and on to the ring. And then, we'll talk about, just not just about professional boxing, but we're going to get off into the amateur boxing as well. We'll highlight some of the top amateurs in the country. We'll highlight the professionals as well. And then, one of the favorite segments that I can't wait to delve into is Rock's conspiracy theories. If anybody know Rock, this man has a lot of conspiracies. And
because boxing is conspiratorial by nature.
Yeah. I know he says that a lot, but, it's a lot of his conspiracies are bull.
All my conspiracies are based in logic and fact and analytical perspectives.
Well, in case y'all don't know, Rock is a lawyer too, so you got that part. Lawyers are argumentative, so Rock will be bringing that portion to the podcast. We're both also coaches, amateur boxing coaches. I have boxers that, that I coach. My children specifically, I have, my daughter's an 18-time national champion. She's number 1 in the nation, number 3 in the world. She's been dubbed the future of women's boxing.
She is beautiful.
Yeah, Latyia Brown-EL. In case y'all don't know, whoever, if you're listening and don't know, so so we'll get off into various topics, talk some pro boxing news, things that are in the news. I think it's a show that, I think it'll be a very high-paced show. I think it'll be a show where people are going to be interested in viewing every week.
I think, and it's going to be different from every other boxing show that you have. Like I said, this is it's hot topics.
Yeah,
it's a debate-based show. Not going to be afraid to take on controversial subjects from that standpoint.
Right.
And we're going to be well versed in current events in boxing and everything in general going on in the world as well too.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll have some special guests on from time to time, some guest hosts, etc. We'll have we'll have an amateur boxing segment where we highlight amateur boxing. Actually, Sarai is going to come on to help us out with the amateur highlights. She'll come on and from time to time we'll bring on amateur boxers that and she'll interview them. Yeah, Sarai will interview them and talk to them and see where they're at along the way. But we'll have we're going to have coaches on, different people from just in the boxing world, you know, and we're gonna have fun on this podcast.
We in the A, baby. The A has everything to do with everything. We're in the A. Atlanta is on the verge of being the capital of boxing in this part of the country.
I agree with that, but yeah, I agree with that. I think it is too. Yeah, I think it's on its way.
Because I mean, boxing is loved in the state. I mean, it's not as big. Boxing is not as big in the Alabamas and your Mississippis.
Can you imagine if Atlanta get a licensing for gambling and they open casinos? I heard that was on the way. If that happens, then it's really gonna be Vegas gonna be done with boxing.
Ooh, I mean, Atlanta. The problem with it would have to come through the state of Georgia. Atlanta would approve it in a heartbeat. Right. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
The problem is that you got the outlying parts of the state, which are still old South.
Right. They're
gonna be vehemently against it. Not just because it's gambling, but more importantly because it's Atlanta.
Right. And you getting long-winded. We still opening the show. You getting long-winded off into the topic of you done created a topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My background is in politics.
I know. I'm clear. Yeah. But it's cool. Y'all see Rock is very passionate about the things that he knows. He's a very smart man though. I respect Rock a lot. But anyway, so that's what this show is going to be about. I anticipate I anticipate that we'll be strong in our genre, you know. So hit the subscribe button. Subscribe on YouTube, Instagram. Our IG is at @counterpunch_conversations. Follow us on Instagram. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. And, you know, let's get these subscribers up and let's talk boxing. Let's get off into our first topic. The thing I want to discuss today is it's a hot topic, right? And the pros and amateurs, really. And the question is, well, Buddy McGirt, everybody knows Buddy McGirt, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if Buddy McGirt said this or not. I didn't personally hear him say it, but I read somewhere that Buddy McGirt said that if you've never boxed, you couldn't be a good boxing coach. I heard that he said that. And I mean, it's, you know, it's a good theory, you know, but honestly, is that true? So the topic I want to talk about really right now is, can you be a good coach if you have never boxed? I don't know if Buddy McGirt said that or not. What do you think, Rock? You think you can be I mean, there's pros and cons to that, right? What do you think?
Boxing is known as the sweet science.
Right.
If it's science, then that means it can be learned.
See, you did that. Now, you got that from me.
I got it from somewhere. Did you say it?
Yeah, you know damn well I said that.
I bet you. Well, I'm gonna cultivate it then. I bet it.
But, you know damn well. No,
that's a perfect analytical assessment of it. Boxing is the sweet science.
Right.
If it's science, then that means it can be learned.
Right.
I've been involved in boxing for about 10 years now. I mean, Chad started boxing at about 8 years old.
Chad is
my son. Chad's my son. So Chad started boxing about 8 years ago. And what I realized was that first came off into, didn't know anything. Took him to a gym. Fortunate to meet an old guy named Mr. Sam in Alabama. Gave us some good knowledge and got Chad started.
Right.
Then we moved to Atlanta from that standpoint and was working with Johnny Gans.
Mr. Gans, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Gans. And then from there,
Atlanta Art of Boxing.
Atlanta Art of Boxing. And then from there, ran into some shysters, trying to charge, paying them to train my son. Then one thing I realized was that guy didn't really know what he was doing. Chad was, the mitt work was all flashy and all that. If you don't know what you're looking at, then, from that standpoint, it looks good to you. But what I realized very quickly was that in order for Chad to excel and really participate in the sport, it was going to take my becoming involved in it from a coaching and from a training aspect.
Right.
Because it's way too much time involved with it.
Right.
And so in doing that, I engrossed myself off into it, trying to learn as much as I possibly can. Had some good teachers from that standpoint who really gave me the foundations of what to build upon.
Right.
But I pretty much did it a lot on my own, just through hard work, grind,
of course,
staying and watching and stuff, and then being not just a critical thinker, but also a willing listener, and taking this stuff. And one thing that I realized about people who are in boxing, who are lifers, is that they're subject to what they've been taught. In other words, what they're going to teach is what they've been taught.
Right.
And they're dogmatic in that approach, and they don't like to learn and go outside that box in regards to teaching boxing. I think the advantage that somebody like myself have and that you have is that we don't have that boxing fundamental background in regards to having boxed, but we also not handicapped by it.
Right.
Meaning we got a critical eye to be able to see, okay, we like this, we don't like that.
Right.
And we're not just gonna ram a certain style of fundamentals down our boxers, throats just because we were taught that way. Whereas a lot of boxers, that's what they were taught, and they're gonna stick to it.
Right. Well, let me say this. So you stole my thought when I said, but that's cool. We on the same page. Boxing is a science. And you hear people always talking about the sweet science, right? So if it's a science, that means that it can be taught, it can be learned. I, for myself now, I grew up in East Baltimore, right? I didn't box, but I damn sure had a lot of boxing fights in the street.
Me too.
I threw a lot of hands, lost a lot of them, won a lot of them. You know what I mean? I started out young. I was bullied at 9 years old. I was bullied. And then, after, I started taking different art forms of combat, training in different art forms. And then I developed I developed a bravado. And I started to develop confidence. And in developing that confidence, I started to fight all the time. I put hands, I throw hands all the time. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is that coming into the world of boxing, right? I think I've been involved in boxing now every day of my life for the last 10 years. I've been involved in boxing, coaching, right? So for those that say you can't be a good coach had you not boxed, right? If you do something for 10,000 hours, you're going to become an expert at it.
Exactly.
And I've done this for 10 years, every day of my life, for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, right? Here recently, we started out, I started out as an assistant coach, right? And I learned under the tutelage of the head coach, right? And then as time progressed, and I was forced to be out on my own, what started to happen now was my mind started to change, right? Meaning that I started studying more than I had in the last however many years. I started studying more. And right now, I study boxing. Every single day I study boxing, right? And I think I'm a pretty damn good boxing coach.
You are. Excellent. Right. And not only that, you're doing it in triplicate. Right. Because you got Sarai, you got Micah, and you got Issa.
My 3 children.
You got 3 kids.
Right. I got 7 children.
7 children. Okay. You got 3 boxing, but you got 2 southpaws and you got 2 orthodox, and then you got 3 boxers who all of them box completely different.
Right.
So from that standpoint, you got a point where you got to be able to interpret appropriate styles, for each one of them, right, in regards to what they're doing. So you got 10 years. You got 10 years off into it
every day,
and you got hours.
Right.
Same with me. I mean, I played football. I ran track. I played basketball. Played baseball. Played football. Ran track at a high level. And what I did was boxing consumed and took over my life. I don't even watch. I really don't even watch football anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm from Alabama.
Right.
That's
sacrilege, bro. You going to hell.
Exactly. You can't be black and be from Alabama.
You going to hell, bro. You from Alabama?
I'm from Auburn, Alabama.
Auburn guy.
Yeah, I'm from War Eagle. I'm from
One
Auburn.
thing about the Alabama's gonna make me cut you off. Every time I go to Alabama, the state is divided. Like you can be in this area right here, and everywhere you go is Alabama. And then you go on this side of town, everywhere is Auburn. So you're Auburn guy because you're from Auburn.
Let me tell you how deep. My mama's 74 years old.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. My mama's 74 years old. At the conclusion of the Auburn game, my mama texted me, we won WDE, War Damn Eagle. So my mama went to Tuskegee, but she went to got another degree and went to grad school at Auburn. Mm-hmm. So, you know, my family engrossed in it.
Right.
You know, love Auburn football. I don't watch Auburn football anymore.
Right.
You know, I watch boxing.
Right.
NFL is the day. I got one team I watch. You know, really, I just watch Lamar Jackson.
Right.
But I'm totally
Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. I'm totally engrossed in boxing.
Yeah.
I study boxing from the standpoint, you know, like I said, my son boxes, and I always told Chad, if you like it, I love it. Mm-hmm. And you know, but the fact, and if you love something, you're gonna nurture it, pay attention to it, and help it grow. Mm-hmm. So you know, that's the approach that I took with it.
Right.
But you know, with boxing lifers, from that standpoint, it's like it's their own individual fraternity, and if you didn't go through what they went through, even on a small part, then you know they don't, you know, they want to look at you like you crazy when you talking about boxing, or they want to be dismissive of your opinions in it, right. Even though y'all looking at the same thing. Right.
Do you think Buddy McGirt said that though?
I don't know if Buddy McGirt said. If Buddy McGirt did say it, I wouldn't put it back because he's a boxing lifer from that standpoint.
Yeah, but I don't really think Buddy McGirt is that good of a coach myself to even really. I mean, listen, I that's just my opinion. I don't really think he's that good of a coach. But let's talk about some of the.
And you're not alone in that opinion.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't think he's that. You know, let's talk about some of the coaches then, right? Because there are some coaches out there that's never boxed. You know, even some that maybe.
The greatest.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, you got Joe Santiago, which was Miguel Cotto's trainer. He trained Cotto for the Pacquiao fight. Mm-hmm. He never boxed, and I think he was like 32 years old. He like went to college for athletics or something to that effect. He was like 32 years old, no boxing background at all, and he trained Cotto to fight Pacquiao. And then you got Joe Goosen. I don't like Joe. You think he's a good trainer? I don't really like Joe too.
I don't really like Joe either.
But he trained every damn body.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is the name and having proximity to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a name and you teeter-totter around in boxing from that standpoint.
But you know, his family was in boxing. You know, that's how he became a trainer.
Exactly.
You know, That's what 10 Goose. They started 10 Goose.
10 Goose boxing.
Right, and then he trained several. He trained Diego Corrales, Riddick Bowe, Mosley, Amir Khan. You know, and then he was he got inducted to the California Hall of Fame not too long ago. So, Goosen, I mean, he never boxed.
Yep. What about Angelo Dundee?
I was getting ready to say Angelo. That was the next person I was going to mention.
He trained the greatest.
Shit, he trained Muhammad Ali for years, and you know
Pernell Whitaker also, right?
Yeah, Pernell. He trained Sugar Ray Leonard. But
you know the funny part about it, I can remember Dundee training Pernell Whitaker, but it was another black coach in the ring that was giving instructions also. Same thing with Medrick Taylor. Because didn't Dundee train Medrick Taylor as well?
Yeah.
But it was another guy, it was another coach in the ring giving instructions as well too.
Yeah. No, but you know, but Dundee, he also trained Floyd Patterson. Did you know he trained Floyd Patterson to fight Muhammad Ali?
Did he train Floyd Patterson or did Customato train Floyd Patterson? I thought it was Customato.
But if you go back and watch the fight, Dundee, now I could be wrong. Micah, pull that up for me. Pull up Floyd Patterson versus Muhammad Ali.
I think Dundee was in Ali's corner then. Because he trained Ali for his whole career.
No, I think, he did. But I think Dundee, I believe.
Was Floyd Patterson the world champ at that point?
Yeah, it was. I think it was when he came back.
I think that was Customato.
I think I want to know if Floyd Patterson, if Angelo Dundee trained Floyd Patterson against Muhammad Ali. I'm almost certain he did.
Google. I would just Google Floyd Patterson trainers.
I'm almost certain he did, man. You want to bet on it?
No, I don't bet.
Let's bet some push-ups. We both fat.
Yeah, we bet some push-ups.
All right, how many?
10.
10 push-ups.
Yeah, 10. That's good. We old.
I think I'm almost certain that Dundee.
There go Dundee right there. That's Angelo Dundee in our lead side right there.
Right. Did Dundee train Patterson?
He may have trained him, but he ain't trained him in this fight.
I think he trained him to fight Muhammad Ali.
There go Angelo Dundee on Ali right.
I see that right there on the video, but I'm almost certain. Listen, somebody go to YouTube and put it in the comments, please, under this video. Let us know, because I believe that he did train. But anyway, Dundee in his book, you ever read his book, My View from the Corner?
I have not.
It's a good book, man. I got the book. I got to give it to you then. But he talks about how he became a trainer in chapter 2 of the book, My Apprentice with Brother Chris. And he talks about working corners in World War II.
Custom model.
Right? It might not have been Floyd Patterson. It was somebody. I'm telling you, Dundee worked against Muhammad Ali for a fight.
I want my 10.
Nah, man, it might not have been Patterson, but he worked against Muhammad Ali in one fight. I just don't
Angelo Dundee did?
Yes.
Okay.
Look that up, Micah. If Dundee worked against Muhammad Ali in any fight. But anyway, so he talks about his apprenticeship in his book, My View from the Corner. That's a plug. Go get Angelo Dundee's book, My View from the Corner. It's an old book because, of course, it was years ago. I don't know what year it was written, but he talked about his apprenticeship with his brother and how he came into boxing. He grew up in the boxing gym, learning how to be a trainer, learning how to be a cornerman. And Angelo Dundee is arguably the greatest boxing trainer in history.
Well, Eddie Fudge.
He did box.
He did box,
yeah.
But he like one fight or something.
Nah, I think he had a good pro career. Eddie Fudge.
You think we should look that up? I don't think Eddie Fudge boxed at all.
Yeah, I think he did. He boxed. Trust me. And then and Emmanuel Stewart, of course, he boxed. But a lot of people though, remember this though, a lot of people that even though they did
the sport,
it was only briefly. A lot of the good trainers.
Mm-hmm. So they hadn't necessarily been engrossed with it. I think, and then a lot of times, the best athletes don't often make the best coaches.
I was getting ready to say. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. I'll go further to say, Shucks, the topic is, can you be a good trainer if you've never boxed? I would go far as to say, can you be a good trainer if you did box?
If you did box at a high level, really?
Yeah, because a lot of the people that box that I've noticed that box at a high level, they see one way.
Calvin Ford never boxed. Calvin Ford learned boxing in prison.
Right. But I'm just saying
exactly.
Yeah.
But Calvin Ford was taught how to train boxers when he was doing that 10-year bid in the feds. He was taught how to train boxers while he was in prison.
Well, maybe
he didn't box.
We can get him on here. We're gonna get him on here and
he'd be a great because Calvin Ford never boxed though.
I thought he did.
No, Calvin Ford never boxed. Calvin Ford, I watched the interview. He said he took the boxing and the sport and the training and the tutelage of teaching the boxing.
Calvin Ford,
in prison.
In case y'all don't know, is Gervonta Tank Davis's coach.
Right now he got the pay-per-view king.
Yeah,
but Ford he never boxed.
We can get him on here.
Now whether or not his other co-trainers box. I don't know, but
Kenny Ellis.
But I'm pretty certain Calvin Ford never boxed, other than getting in the ring, putting on headgear, and working with Tank. But as far as an amateur career or professional career, no, I don't think Ford ever boxed.
We need to get him on here and talk to him about it.
Absolutely.
Bring this time because this is gonna be. You know what? This is actually gonna be an ongoing topic.
It's gonna be an ongoing topic, and I think.
I'm talking about on Counterpunch Conversations.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna bring this up.
Because we can bring the pro and the con on every time.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask people what they think when they come on here. What do you think about? Do you think of training? Because me, I really think, from my experiences, people that box at a high level. I'm not talking about people that had good amateur careers, because you got a lot of them had good amateur careers and they good trainers. And I'm not, and this is not the rule. So please don't start. I don't want people to get on the comments and start going crazy that I'm crazy. I'm not. This is the exception, not the rule. I'm not saying this is the rule. I'm just saying, in my opinion, people that box at a high level, like you just said, don't make good coaches because they see things one way and they don't want to take no instruction. They don't want to learn anything new because they know everything.
That's it. They know everything.
Right.
And the funniest thing about boxing is that boxers think other boxers don't know anything.
Right.
I've talked with boxers who, when they're talking about other boxers,
right.
Oh, he don't know what he's doing.
Give it to Sorrel.
It's almost like boxers don't think other boxers know anything.
Right.
I mean, it's the funniest sport in the world in that regard, because boxers do not believe that, number one, if you ain't never boxed, you don't know anything about boxing.
Right.
But even boxers who box, he don't know what he's doing.
Right.
I mean, think about it. I mean, name one Hall of Fame boxer who ended up being a great trainer.
Right.
Pernell Whitaker tried. Pernell Sweepy, one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time. He trained Zab for a minute, but I mean, Pernell don't have anything to show for it.
Right.
Floyd don't have anything to show for it from that standpoint. I mean, you got Roy Jones out there, but does Roy have a champion?
Listen, Roy is a legend.
Without question.
Yeah, Roy is a legend.
Your boxer's favorite boxer.
Yeah, that's a fact. I have heard some things about Roy as far as being a trainer. I've heard some things about him in the sense that he's not a good trainer. I'm sure you can get great tips from Roy. I'm sure I've seen some videos of Roy where he's giving really good advice and really good tips, but from the things I've heard, it's been sort of the same thing. Like, now, I'm not saying this is true. I'm speaking from a media perspective. I'm not saying this is true, so you don't got to comment. You ain't got to call Roy up to have Roy punch me in the mouth. All I'm saying is I've heard from people that have trained with Roy or been in the peripheral that it's the same thing. I know everything. You need to listen to me, and this is how it's going to go.
If Roy get to rocking.
Right.
Yeah, but listen, my thing about it, here's my experience. Never boxed. Mm-hmm. Study a lot of boxing, study boxers, study their styles, but we also study, I study trainers as well too. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've noticed is that, like, you can teach and you can drill the styles of certain other boxers and what they do. Mm-hmm. You can't teach what Roy Jones does from that standpoint.
Yeah.
What Roy did, and maybe Roy can teach it, or maybe the fact that what people are saying about Roy not being a good teacher, so to speak,
I mean,
a good trainer, is because maybe Roy trying to teach what he taught, and there's only ain't but one Roy Jones.
How many divisions did he win a world title? I mean, I know he's the only one that went from.
We started at 60,
right?
60s.
Nah, he started at 60, or he started. No, I think he started. I'm almost certain Roy was lower than that, 140.
No, definitely not. Roy may have had some fights at 54, but I think he was a world champ at 60.
But anyway, he went all the way to heavyweight, and he won.
I think it was 60.
He was a heavyweight champion of the world.
Every division except cruiser. So 60, 68, 75 heavyweight. He would have had the fifth division with cruiser, but he jumped over from light heavyweight
for David Ruiz.
Exactly.
John Ruiz. I mean.
So Roy, he never won a world title at
I remember that fight, man.
Yeah, he never won a world title at that cruiserweight.
Right, but he's the only one that's ever went that far all the way up to become a heavyweight champion.
James Toney.
To become the heavyweight champion of the world. James Toney never been a heavyweight champion of the world.
We sure about that?
James Toney Rock.
I know he fought a heavyweight. He's
Ruiz. Never been heavyweight champion, though. I'm saying
he beat Ruiz,
but he wasn't never the heavyweight. Roy Jones beat John Ruiz.
James Toney also.
James Toney has never been a heavyweight champion of the world, man.
Let's bring up James Toney. I know he fought heavyweight. He fought at heavyweight.
This for my 10 push-ups.
He beat Roy Jones. He beat Evander Holyfield, but that wasn't for a title.
Right. James Toney has never been a heavyweight champion of the world. I'm talking about going from a lower weight division all the way up to winning a heavyweight champion of the world. Heavyweight champion of the world is very prestigious.
Without question.
So if
It's
you
the
heavyweight
man,
champion,
the baddest man on the planet.
yeah. I mean, it don't even matter if you just got one belt. If you're heavyweight champion of the world, that's a big deal. And James Toney has never been the heavyweight champion of the world. James Toney is a bad man. In fact, I just was watching the fight, James Toney and Roy Jones. I was just watching that fight. So,
Yeah, I watched that fight. I watched that fight probably a dozen or more times.
right. So anyway, I guess that's an ongoing topic. Can a coach that's never boxed be a good trainer? Or can a coach,
James, he defeated Mike Shepard by 6-round stoppage, winning the WBF heavyweight title after a career span 20, whatever WBF is.
Exactly. What are we talking about here, man? He's never been a heavyweight champion of the world, man. WBF. What is that?
World Boxing Federation.
Rock. Don't try me, man. You tripping.
I know he beat John Reeves, but yeah,
He's never been WBO, IBF, WBC,
or WBA.
WBA, ring,
True.
lineal. He's never been none of that.
None of it. I got you.
Right. So he's never been the heavyweight champion of the world. So that's an ongoing topic that we got to discuss. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It is an ongoing topic because you're gonna get like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a terrible general manager,
right?
In regards to because the general manager selects talent, and he was a terrible
owner. He's still an owner though.
Yeah, he just sell it. No. But I mean, from my recollection, he was a terrible teammate.
Nah, did you see Last Dance? They said they loved him. He just smacked people from time to time.
Man, Jordan had editorial control over that thing.
Yeah,
them boys don't like Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen hate him right now. It ain't just because of the son messing with his ex-wife.
That's crazy.
But for the record, Scottie Pippen was always my favorite player on that during that Bulls dynasty.
He lying, y'all.
No, it's not. Scottie was.
It ain't no way you ain't watch no Chicago Bulls and thought no daggone Scottie Pippen was.
He's the best player.
Anyway, let's talk about boxing.
He's the best player. Who guarded number one player on the other team? Not Mike.
Mike is the greatest basketball player to ever play.
LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. Now, the only other person I caveat with that would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Anyway,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to go.
Man, we talking about boxing. Man.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
but I can't let you slide with that Jordan stuff, man. But anyway, but
everybody know Jordan.
But to bring it back, no, everybody don't know. But to bring it back to the point, sometimes the greatest athletes rarely make the greatest trainers. And like I said, I don't name me one Hall of Fame boxer who went on to be a great trainer.
I can't. I'm not saying there's none out there. I just can't name.
I can't name one.
I haven't done. I wouldn't look that far. So write that down. We'll ask somebody that when they come on the show.
Yeah, I mean, has there ever been one?
Right.
I mean, now a lot of boxers who had mediocre careers from that standpoint and lose. I mean, Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach.
He boxed.
He boxed, but he wasn't a great boxer.
Well, yeah, of course, he wasn't. He was a good pro. He was mediocre as a pro.
Yes, but Freddie, and he was also worked in the shadow of Eddie Futch.
Right.
But Freddie Roach wasn't the quintessential great boxer.
No, we agree. We agreed that the greatest boxers who went far.
Nacho Berenstein never boxed.
Nacho Berenstein. Oh yeah, yep. You're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the greatest Mexican trainer probably one of the greatest trainers period in the history of boxing.
Right.
But Nacho never boxed.
All right. Well, we'll discuss this ongoing. We'll keep bringing it up. We have guests on. We'll bring it up and ask them what do they think. So
absolutely.
We want to welcome to the ring Brian Cohen. Brian Cohen is a manager with Split T Boxing. He's anything that most of all of the fights for all the female professional bouts, Brian has something to do with. He's extraordinaire in the boxing realm. We're going to talk to him today about a few things that's going on and female boxing and his upbringing or whatever. So, Brian, are you there?
I'm here, guys.
What's going on, buddy? How you feel?
I'm good, fellas. How y'all doing today?
Good, good, good to see you. This is my co-host Rock here.
What's up, Rock?
What's going
How
on,
you
Coach?
feeling?
Hey, feeling good, Coach.
Hey, so
Looking good too.
thank you, sir. You too. Yeah, yeah. So what you got going on right now? What's happening right now?
Oh man, I just got back from Tijuana. I had Melissa Odessa Parker fight Erica Cruz for the WBA Continental fight title. It was a hell of a fight.
Yeah,
Melissa surprised me. Somebody with that little bit of experience. I thought she did really well against a former world champion and somebody that was in there with some of the greats. So
yeah,
sometimes when you lose, you win. And to me, she lost, but she won because,
right,
speaking to Eddie and a lot of the matchroom guys after the show, she really showed she has a lot of dog in her, and that's what they like. So she'll probably be brought back for a couple more fights and whatnot. So it was a good experience, except, it was Mexican Independence Day, so I was dodging bullets out there like Neo from the Matrix.
Oh, yeah, I bet Tijuana.
Yeah. So it was. I'm happy to be back. But that's it for right now. I do have a few fights coming up in the next month or so.
Oh, okay. Liana Cruz is fighting again, right? And
so
September, she
for
fighting
some reason or another, her promoter took her off the card with no explanation. So
wow.
we're trying to work through that little bit of a hiccup / headache.
Yeah.
But I have Carla Torres, who is coming off 3 huge wins. She's fighting October 5th in like a little keep busy fight in DC.
Yeah.
Then I also have Mary Spencer fighting for the IBO IBF title in Canada. I think it's October 11th.
Yeah. Busy man.
Trying,
like I said, Brian.
Like
I said, Brian is manager with Split T Management, owned by Dave McWhorter. Of course, their claim to fame is Teofimo Lopez, but Brian is the manager for all of the females. So. He does a great job. I want to start from the beginning, Brian, ask you a few questions. Just talk to you about who you are so that our listeners are aware. Where were you raised, Brian?
South Philadelphia.
Oh, is that right? I didn't even know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was born in South Philly. Yeah.
Wow. So were you into sports growing up?
Yeah, I played a little high school football. I did karate, but boxing was my thing.
So you did box when you were young. How old were you?
I started boxing about 8 years old.
Oh, wow. You had a lot of amateur fights?
Like 32, 33, something like that. I had more of a pro style even when I was a young kid. Jeff Chandler was actually my first trainer. And then I was trained by Slim Jim Robinson, who's the guy that trained Timmy Witherspoon. Then I had a guy by the name of Jimmy Arthur who was in camp at times with Sugar Ray Robinson, so he had that real slick style.
Right.
And Slim Jim was a power trainer, so I kind of combined the two. And then, during the other course of my career, I didn't jump around trainers a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So I had, the late great Buster Drayton was my trainer, and then my last trainer was Sloan Harrison, who recently passed.
Oh wow! Rest in peace. Yeah. So wow, so when did you turn pro? Did you turn pro at 18, like most of these kids?
I was 18. I was 18. They put me in there with a guy that was like 28 years old, and I was a power puncher. I really didn't know how to box too well.
Yeah.
I blew my hand out in the first round. I blew the ligaments from my knuckles to my forearm.
Oh my God.
And my hand was like dangling. I think I blocked the left hook. My hand went like this, twinged. The referee went and stopped the fight.
So you got stopped your first fight?
It was my first fight. I got stopped. Well, on my knee, stopped on my knee. Knee referee, I didn't get counted out or nothing like that. But it was a TKO loss. My first pro fight.
Wow. So how did you go on? How many pro fights did you end up having?
I was 15-2 with 14 knockouts. I won the WBC Continental title.
That's a good career.
I mean, my father tried to work with me. My father was like an old school type of manager. Like, you got to fight this one, you got to fight that one.
Yeah.
The business was changing at the time, so I managed myself.
Right.
And then when I started managing myself, I started picking up clients along the way.
Right.
Because they seen how I was moving myself.
Right.
And my fighters used to fight on the cars I would fight on. So that's how I really got started. Again, all credit to my father because my father was a boxing man.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What made you want to start managing boxers, particularly female boxers at that?
So I wanted to start managing boxers for I just wanted to be in the sport for one reason. Like Buster Drayton was my idol. Right. He was like a family member. My dad never had a contract with him. You know, his kids, I grew up with all his kids. We were just like a big family, black, white, Chinese. I'd never seen race as a kid. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. They were always at my house. I was always at their house. So, you know, that's how I grew up. Right. That's just how and, you know, my father always had that, you know, we always had that openness, you know, in our house to all races. Right, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So yeah, that's literally how I grew up, man. And I wanted to mimic what my dad did. My father had the IBF world champion, and I just wanted to win. You know, I just wanted to win a couple world titles. But now I'm like 45 deep, so yeah. I'm in it.
So you got 45 female boxers?
I've had 45 champions total, 35 world champions, and then you get like another 10 like little ancillary titles, like any title. Like
you know, I've been seeing you on different fights on the zone as a cut man too. So
I do it all, man. I do it all. If you remember a guy by the name of Eddie Aliano, he was Sugar Ray Leonard's cut man.
Yep, I remember.
And he was right in Atlantic City, and I was a little kid, and he used to teach me how to mix the stuff, and I always took a liking to doing cuts. And when I worked my fighters' corners, of course, I don't charge them like a cut man. I don't charge them anything. Right. I like doing it.
No, that's good. That's save them a little money on that purse.
Save them a little money, and then I'm a steady hand in the corner. Like if the trainer's a little inexperienced, I'm always there to lean on. And if they ask for a little bit of help with instructions, I'm always there, man. Like I said, I live, breathe, eat, and sleep boxing.
You're a boxing lifer.
Right. Indeed.
I'm a lifer.
Yeah.
Boxing lifer.
Well, Brian, you know, we got some controversial stuff to talk about. If y'all don't know, Brian, like I said earlier, Brian has something to do with just about all the any of the fights, even the ones that he don't manage. Alycia Baumgardner, we all know she's undisputed. What weight is she? Where's her champ? Where's her belt?
I think it's 35.
35. Is she?
Or was it 30? 130?
30. 130.
Yeah. So Alycia Baumgardner is the undisputed champion at 130. And her last fight was against one of Brian's boxers. Actually, Brian was in her corner as a cut man, and he also manages her. I can't pronounce her last name.
It's a tricky last name. It's Christina Venargatu Duran.
Yeah.
So she's Greek and Dominican. So that's
that's great
a crazy
boxer,
mix right there.
Great boxer.
She actually gave Alycia her first loss.
She beat Alycia. The first time Alycia a loss. I actually thought that she beat Alycia this fight. Alycia had her highlights, and you know, the ESPN and all of the different boxing news, they showed Alycia, you know, it looked like Alycia was really dogging her, but I watched that fight and I thought Alycia lost the fight. But anyway, we know the controversy that happened after Alycia tested positive.
We're gonna differ on that, but I got you.
Yeah, but I mean, what kind of difference can you have? She tested positive.
No. I'm not about the positive in regards to the fight results.
Oh, okay. No,
we can't. You can't differ on. We can't differ on the positive test.
Yeah.
On the positive test from that standpoint, it said it was positive. My only thing about it is that, I don't really understand why. In other words, most times when someone tests positive, they would have known that they've tested positive.
No, here's the thing.
14 to 30 days
She gave a statement, right? I'm going to read the statement, right? Alycia Baumgardner gave a statement on August the 12th, and she said, I was informed that an A sample I provided on July 12, 2023 resulted in an adverse analytical finding of mesdoterone and methanolone actate metabolites, two substances I've never heard of or used in any way, Baumgardner said in a public issue statement. The sample provided immediately after my fight on July 15, 2023 tested clean and negative for all banned substances, as did my sample on June 16, 2023, which makes the July 12th result essentially impossible, right? Then she says, to be abundantly clear, I know that I never have, never would, and never will take this or any other drug. not only would doing so be unethical, but it would also be completely contrary to how I've trained my whole entire career. So that's the statement that she gave. And Brian is directly involved. So what do you got to say about that, Brian?
I mean, a lot of people say a lot of things at a lot of different times, right? I mean, from my own perspective, right? So after the fight, she was in the upstairs dressing room. We were in the downstairs dressing room. Mm-hmm. The testing lady was in our room. Christina gave her test. Mm-hmm. And, the lady is supposed to stay with you until you leave the building.
Right.
But apparently there was a problem in her locker room giving the test, right? So the lady says, is it okay if I go upstairs and take care of this? Because she's not wanting to give the other sample.
Right.
So the lady in our room left, and, I texted her when we were about to leave, and she watched us leave. Apparently that's some kind of protocol about it. I don't know, man. Watching the first fight, watching the second fight, right? It's not saying, you can't train hard, rah, 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 and get better.
Right.
But if you would have seen the first fight, I don't know if you guys have seen the first fight.
I seen it.
It was okay. I mean, so the last 2 or 3 rounds, all Baumgardner did was hold in the first fight.
Right.
She did a little meringue with her, right? In this fight, now I'm not saying you can't train and you can't get better, or if you get different training, you get, whatever, people do strength and conditioning or what have you. But she had a huge gas tank. And a lot of people, if you look up those drugs, what it does give you.
A gas tank.
Gives you gas tank. It gives you more, it fights muscle fatigue, and it gives you, it gives a lot more oxygen to the red blood cells and things. It does a lot for you. So, I mean, I hate to call her dirty, but I just think she's dirty. Right. I don't like the type of person she is. I don't like the type of person she's become, and I wouldn't put it above her to be a cheat.
Right.
So I honestly think people should take her off her social media, because I think she's digging herself a deeper hole.
Now I know that you know her personally, and I know that you had. I thought you were about to sign her before, weren't you? Did you have her?
So what happened was I had a fighter. I released her because it was just too much turning down fights. I had a fighter by the name of Melissa St. Ville.
Okay.
Eddie called and said, "Hey, do you want to put Melissa in the fight with Terry Harper?" About 2 or 3 weeks notice.
Who is Eddie?
I asked Melissa if she wanted to fight. Of course, Melissa turned down another title fight. I think that was like her 6th title fight she turned down. And I called Mark, who has King's Promotion. And I said, hey, do you want to pop Alycia in this fight? The only caveat is I'd like to do a provision of service agreement. Maybe a lot of people might not know, provision of service agreement, I'm not the manager, I'm not the advisor. I get a certain percentage from her purses for X amount of years. And that's what I did. She signed it, boom, boom, boom.
Alycia.
So, yeah.
Okay.
She signed, I have it and everything. I just, I might be just waiting for the right time to execute a lawsuit.
Right.
I just, I hate doing the messy lawsuit thing.
Right.
So, did everything. I got medicals done, got everything.
Hold on 1 second. I don't want to brush over that right now. I don't want to brush over that. You have a what's the agreement called again?
It's called the provision of service.
Provision of service agreement. And you have that with her, and it's legal and binding right now.
Oh yeah.
And she hasn't honored it.
She doesn't honor a lot of things.
So
that's why.
What would make
that's why I wouldn't put it past her for her being a cheat. She doesn't honor a lot of things. She has no respect for contracts. She has no respect for promoters. Like, my thing is, you disrespect and you talk about Matchroom, this company that gave you such a huge platform to be a star.
Right.
You talk about them. She brought on this other manager named Brian Peters. Brian Peters is Katie Taylor's manager.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
She got rid of him. She got rid of Marshall Kaufman, who was her promoter from, pretty much the beginning, and invested a lot of money in. Mm-hmm. So I always look at people's characters. And to me, use my language, but she got a shitty character.
Right.
So that's how I judge a person. You know what I mean? You got to judge a person for character. That's how everybody should judge her. So do I think she cheated for all those things that I know about her? Yeah, why I wouldn't put it past her.
Right, right.
Why wouldn't she cheat?
Yeah, I mean, but the thing about it is, I have my views on that too as well, because I did know her or see her around in the amateurs, and she is a totally different person. I think I did see some changes in her attitude and things like that. But I chalk that up to, sometimes I chalk that up to just being, just trying to sell fights, right? I don't know her personally as to how she moves on a day to day, but I do see like the person that I did see in the beginning versus who I'm seeing on these fights now is a totally different person. But I'm saying back to that agreement that you had with her. I'm just, if you have that signed, sealed, and delivered, why wouldn't you execute that and get paid? Because I mean, she's made some good coin at this point, hasn't she?
Well, she certainly has. Yeah. But if I look at it from an investment point of view,
yeah, it's just in the bank. It's in the bank.
When was the contract signed?
Prior to the Terry Harper fight. Right before she fought Terry Harper, maybe 2 weeks before she fought Terry Harper, because that's when she started doing her medicals, right? Before the fight.
My partner here, Rock, is a lawyer. He's a contracts lawyer too. So
yeah, there you go. I mean, Rock, I'll shoot it over to you. You can take a look at it. It's legit.
I guess so this was prior to the Harper fight.
All yes.
Right? And I mean, what was the reason for the contract? If I can ask that question.
As you know, as a lawyer yourself, your services are not free, right?
Nope.
No, neither are mine. Neither are my connections. So it was a 10%. It was a 10% provision of service agreement for 3.5 years. That's it. It was pretty straightforward.
Right.
I guess what I'm asking is that for the contract, she's the boxer, and in your role in the contract, what are you providing? What would you provide, or have you provided?
I provided the opportunity for her to fight for a world title, opportunity that she didn't have before.
Okay, so you got her to fight with Harper.
Correct.
Yeah. If he can prove that, I mean,
was she with Matchroom at the time?
No, I got her the contract with Matchroom as well. I mean, I have the contract. I have them listing me in the contract as the point person. I have everything. So that's why it's like, I know sometimes, going through courts and going through the system gets messy. Right. I just, honestly, at this point right now, I don't really have the time to go through that whole process.
I mean, is that what they're telling you to do pretty much? If you bring it up to her, are they saying, sue me? I mean, is that what they're saying? Or
No, but I mean, I know she has that other guy that runs around claiming to be her manager, Nelson Lopez. First, he wasn't the manager. Now you look on BoxRec, he's the manager. She's supposed to have another guy. Keith Conley is the manager. Their camp is just a mess. It's just a messy camp. And I'm doing a little bit too much to kind of focus my energy towards a provision of service agreement right now. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You signed that 2 years ago?
Excuse me?
You signed that contract 2 years ago?
Whenever the Harper fight was, if it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was a little longer than that.
Either a 3 year or 3.5.
Yeah, because that was before she fought Michaela.
And Michaela was when last fall?
Yeah, something like that. She won the
So it's been about if you got the contract, you definitely want to look at it, because you got, you may have statute of limitation on situations in regards to breach of the contract. And a lot of times it goes back to the time when you knew the contract was breached.
Right. Gotcha.
Right. Good point. Gotcha. See, it behooves you you to work with Rock, I guess.
Another thing is, which I find it amusing, is that Christina beat her for her first title. That's the way it looks like. She's going to beat her for all these other titles once they strip her.
Yeah.
So
how would that work?
So you think she now that's what I wanted to get into, right? I wanted to get into that because nothing has happened as of yet, and it's kind of looks like it's got swept under the rug. Is she going to be stripped of the titles, or what's going to happen? Because she's saying that she's going to fight this thing, but it's kind of like we're not hearing anything else about it.
So this is something she can't sweep under the rug. If you look on her BoxRec, she's suspended by the Association of Boxing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So you can't really sweep it under the rug per se, right? Right now, Trying to deal with the Michigan Commission is a bit tough because Linda Douglas, who was the chairperson of the commission, resigned.
Right.
So there's no point person to deal with. I can't even get the bout overturned to a no contest right now.
Right.
Because there's no. But I have Alex Dombrov, who is the attorney for DeBella Entertainment, handling that right now.
So that's what you're trying to have it changed to a no contest.
No contest, no decision. Yeah. Definitely take that loss off her record. Right. But I'm trying to set her up in a position that if the belts do splinter, she'll be set up to fight from maybe 2, maybe even 3 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, are we thinking that it's? I don't know. What do you think, Rock? You think they're gonna strip her of those titles?
I just think.
I see she's suspended, but
I mean, I just think that the business of boxing is crazy. So what may apply for one boxer, may not apply for another boxer. And a lot of times it's just contingent upon which boxer has the most money behind them or which boxer is generating the most money. It doesn't really. Sometimes it's almost like, why do you have bylaws and rules if you're not going to follow them, or if they're going to be subjective?
Right.
From that standpoint, in regards to who's interpreting them, and then in regards to the situation in and of itself.
Right.
Because if the rules are the rules, if you test positive, then you should be stripped or adhere, or the rules should be adhered to. But if the rules are going to be not adhered to.
But have you ever seen this before, like a situation like this where it's been so long? Because when was that fight?
Nah, because
when was that fight?
It usually happens pretty quick. I mean, I know that in other sports, if you get tested positive for marijuana or anything,
they take the title.
They take the title and they void the fight.
Right.
From that standpoint, that's why I'm saying the fact that nothing has gone on in this length of time, maybe, hopefully there's more investigation going on in regards to the sample and the validity of it. Or, it may just be the business of boxing.
Right.
I think the issue is, I think you're absolutely right when you say that some rules apply to some and not others. But I also think it was the testing, right? So this was an independent testing facility. It wasn't VADA, it wasn't WADA, it wasn't anything like that. So when you do see them get stripped in a quick fashion, it's usually because they violated a VADA or a WADA violation. This was a independent, testing facility set up by Matchroom. So,
okay, I remember seeing something about that. It's almost like it's independent. It's with Matchroom from that standpoint, and it's almost kind of like Eddie Hearn has final say so in regard. If it's by Matchroom, he definitely has final say so in regards to the situation. So the other part about it is that if it's independent, I mean, is it valid, or is the testing even recognized by the sanctioning bodies from that standpoint? Mm-hmm. Another thing about it is that if it's independent, was the chain of custody followed in regards to the sampling in and of itself? In other words, if VADA does it, or WASADA does it, or any type of Olympic style testing is concerned, I'm sure they have protocols in place that state samples collected. Sample comes here, sample goes here for final destination, has a certain amount of time to be transported, submitted, tested, results back. From that standpoint, were there adequate protocols in place for chain of custody of the sample so that we can be ensured that the process wasn't contaminated? Right. The other thing about it is that, I have seen some things about her talking bad about Matchroom. Is this a situation where Eddie Hearn is like, shut your mouth, or we got control over this sample, and if we got control over this sample, then we got control over, over your titles, over your money. So do you really want to talk greasy to us right now?
Right.
So I think Eddie is a little bit smarter than that. Although that does sound like it's a good, and don't, this is nothing towards you. It's a good conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah, and that's
it makes for a good story. I think the difference between this testing and WADA, WASA, and VADA testing is they take blood. This was a straight urine sample.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I know when you fight over the UK, man, they got the lady taking your blood right there. She's also taking the urine sample. And this was just straight urine. So it had to be approved by the sanctioning bodies because you have to tell them what type of testing you're using. So they all had to approve it.
Right.
So I don't, like you said, there may have been a chain broken, a chain in the process broken somewhere. I think maybe that's what they're trying to research. But, I know Baumgardner, that was one of her theories that she was going to leave Matchroom. So now they're doing this to her and this, that, and the third. And I know that also was said by Jessica McCaskill. She came in and opened her big mouth about it too, which she should have just kept quiet because she has a fight next week with Matchroom.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see it play out.
Yeah. So here's a question: the independent testing facility, from that standpoint. All right. So obviously they're licensed. Were they licensed with the state of Michigan, or is there even a licensing requirement? And if there's a licensing requirement with a given sanctioning body, does that licensing that takes place with the Michigan board, does it translate nationwide or internationally?
Right. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't go by anything Michigan does, says, or believes in. I fought in some like third world countries. When we fought in Michigan, that was like a third world country fighting. There was no inspectors to watch the hand wraps. Oh God. It was probably one of the most unsafe places I fought in America. Wow. And that's not even joking. Nobody watched the hand wrapping. Like there wasn't an inspector. Like we could have put 6 pounds of bricks in the glove.
Lord have mercy.
But they're known for that though. Detroit
and
Michigan and Detroit boxing is known for being one of the dirtiest places in the world as far as boxing is concerned.
Yeah, but I never knew that about the commission though. I never knew that they didn't watch the raps or any of that.
I watched the interview. It probably about 4 or 5 years back. Maybe 4 years back by Joey Spencer.
Yeah,
amateur went on pros from that. I don't know where he is now in his career. Yeah. But he's from Michigan in that Detroit area.
Yeah.
And he was talking about some of the dirty things that go on as far as, Michigan and Detroit boxing in particular.
Right.
I mean, it's an old school place. So any tricks that's to be known in boxing, it probably was originated or perfected in the Midwest, Chicago, Detroit, and probably and then Philadelphia in the North.
Wow.
Yeah, man. For sure. It's funny, Rock. I used to manage Cornelius Locke, if you remember him from Detroit. Right? Mm-hmm. So Cornelius helped me work the corner that night, and I sent him to watch the hand wrapping. And he said he had to stop them a couple times because they were trying to put the
stack. They were trying to stack.
Yeah. They trying to stack their hand like Bud Crawford.
Yeah, but that's allowed. Know. That's allowed in Vegas, though.
Man, Bud had 4 inches of tape. Well, that's another story.
Yeah. That is they allow that in Vegas though. But anyway, I'm not gonna hold you much longer, Brian. We probably can bring you back on and talk about it. It's a lot.
I got another question. I mean, so here's the question: if they strip her, or do you think they're gonna order a rematch?
I don't think they'll order a rematch. I'm gonna be honest with you because I think if they do strip her, I think she'll be suspended for X amount of months, like they did with Canelo.
Right.
So I don't think she would. If they strip her, why would they do a rematch? Right? She needs to sit her butt down for a little bit, learn her lesson, and things like that. And I don't think she deserves to get an automatic shot at the title after she gets. Whatever happens, if she gets found guilty, I'll say that.
Right.
Now, here's the fundamental question. So, now when did this fight take place? How long ago was it?
This was in July, right? July. The fight was on what date was it? It was in July. I don't remember the date.
July something, man. Yeah. I'm sorry. They all running together.
Yeah. It was in July.
So what you're probably gonna run into is a situation like this. She would probably if she gets suspended, it'll be retroactive to probably the day after the fight. From that standpoint, which means by the time January, February comes around, it's 6 months. And then, so the suspension will be retroactive to the point where she's been inactive for those since July.
Right.
Which means basically nothing. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, I mean, even if that does happen, right, who's going to promote her next fight now? Because she don't have a promoter now.
Right.
So is she definitely out with Matchroom?
I don't think things are going well with Matchroom right now. I was just with them in Tijuana. Like I said, man, I've done great business with them. They're straight shooters.
Right.
And, there's 2 lawyers. There's a gentleman by the name of Jay that does the UK, and there's Sean Palmer here in the United States, and they're all great. The COO, Frank Smith, they're all great to deal with. They're like a phone call away. They always pick up their phone. So that's why I don't understand these fighters that get on and talk bad about Matchroom. I don't know why they would bite the hand that feeds them, because they pay really good money. They're for their fighters. Mm-hmm. So I just, I don't know, man. It's just, it's all really confusing to me. If she did cheat, shame on her. That's all I can really say.
Right.
Do I think it's possible? Do I think it's in her character? Knowing her business practices? Yeah, I think it's weird.
Right.
Because Matchroom is #1 in the world right now as far as women's boxing, isn't it?
Yeah, they put on a lot of females. They feature females.
Yeah, they brought women's boxing along.
I feel that Eddie Hearn was the one that brought all this money to the female game via Katie Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why the negative talk about Matchroom, about Eddie Hearn, man. Eddie Hearn did a lot for the sport. Eddie Hearn did what for female boxing what Bella was trying to do here in the
United States. Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think in fact, I think Matchroom is probably, if you're going to go with a promoter for females, I think it should be Matchroom. I think they do the best for the females, man.
Yeah, you'd be crazy not to. I mean, I think it's a doomsday. It's a bad situation for her because, the worst part about it is if it's self-inflicted on both parts. It's self-inflicted from an athletic standpoint, saying because of the positive test, if in fact, the test is legitimate from that standpoint. And then it's self-inflicted from a business standpoint because, you with Matchroom, they're getting you fights, they're getting you paid, and, you bite the hand that's feeding you and pushing you. But the other part about it is that there's not another real clear female business of boxing situation that's better than Matchroom. I mean, I don't think the only people I see.
Well, Jake Paul doing his thing with Serrano right now. Yeah, she got a 12 rounder coming up.
Jake Paul is doing his thing. That's true.
And the first $1 million female.
Oh, that was the word on the street. The word on the street, she was trying to get rid of Matchroom to go with Jake Paul. That was the word on the street. You know what I mean?
Does Jake Paul have a network? Or is he on Triller?
Yeah, Triller is. He's been working with Triller, but he's with Triller. Yeah.
Nah, Triller not around no more.
So who is Jake? Who's putting on Jake Paul's? Is it he's on his own?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Triller. But his last fight was on. Was it Showtime? What was his last fight on? Against Silva.
Showtime or the Zone.
I thought it was the Zone. It was the Zone. It was the Zone.
It was the Zone.
Yeah.
So Matchroom was with the Zone.
Right.
Jake Paul is with the Zone.
Right.
Yeah.
The mood is not making very much sense.
No, I mean, really, what Brian is saying, if that's the word on the street, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. The move she's trying to make, because what he's done for Serrano, he had the first $1 million fight for a female. Mm-hmm. Now she's getting ready to be the first female fighting 3 minutes, 12 rounds.
Now that's interesting. Now full disclosure, I love the way I love her fighting style and the way that she fights. Right. I mean, she's slick, it's crisp. I mean, since she's gotten with Tony Harrison, I mean, it looks like. I mean, the jab is working better. The defense is better from that standpoint. The only negative thing that I've seen, not really negative, but the chink is in fact the gas tank. She does have a lot of muscle. When you got a lot of muscle,
she got big.
When you have a lot,
big as hell, man.
She is, but when she used to fight on Sugar Bear Show, she would kind of chuck.
No.
But
no. When she was amateur, man, she was not as big as she is right now. That girl head is getting big. I
ain't gonna let you do that.
Her arms is getting big, and she getting mean, man, and aggressive.
Let me say this right here. I went to school. I had classmates who ran track who had builds like that, and they weren't on no performance. I'm not saying she's on any performance. She tested. You just gave her the Barry Bonds test. You said the girl head getting big. You said girl arm getting big.
Listen,
you said her head.
I'm just telling you what I see.
You just Barry Bonds.
I get it.
You just put the Barry Bonds on.
I get it, but I'm not.
And then you gonna say I ain't saying.
Full disclaimer.
You just put the Barry Bonds on.
I'm not saying that she is.
You ain't directly saying it. You just said a good head getting bigger, man.
I'm just saying I'm just saying it's a good. Listen.
That's code word for performance enhancing drugs. Somebody head, because they said Barry Bond head got bigger.
Same thing with Pacquiao.
Ooh.
Pacquiao head got big. He shot up from like what he was fighting at 106.
106 or something.
Next thing you know, he was 147.
No, 154. He fought Margarito. Well, the fight was at 154, but it was a catch weight at 147.
Right.
But yeah.
But anyway, I'm not saying Baumgardner is using, right? But what I am saying is the power that she's done developed.
You sound like Kanye West. I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
Listen.
But she ain't messing with no broke. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
you sound like Kanye
the
right
power
now.
that she developed, her arms and all of that, man, is crazy. Like even though I thought, what's her name, Brian? Your girl. I can't never say. I know who she is, but I can't never say her last name. Even though I feel like she beat Baumgardner, man. Did you see her face at the end of the fight from the shot she took from Baumgardner, man?
Yeah.
Come on, man. That was.
I mean, Leonardo Tao.
Don't mess the girl name up.
Leonardo Tao.
She might watch this and then she might want to come.
Hey, forgive us
Leonardo
Leonardo.
Yeah.
Hey, forgive me, Miss Leonardo.
Yeah.
But
what's her weight?
I mean, she's
fast.
She's fast skinned it though. She's fast skinned. So if she get touched, she gonna get bruised up.
What's she walk around at?
She's not big, man. So when we had her at the 140-pound champion,
I'm asking for personal reasons.
She's not big at all.
I'm asking for personal reasons because I want to get some work. But anyway,
you got to go to Greece for that, homie. That's not gonna happen. We can't get her here. You got, you know what I mean? Take her to Greece though. We can get some work in Greece.
All right. Well, we probably do that.
And like I said, man, and in no way am I spitting sour grapes about Baumgardner beating her. Because like when we opened the show, I said, "Yo, my girl got beat this weekend. It is what it is. It was a good fight."
Right.
I don't, scratch my head if it don't itch. I don't dance if there's no music.
Right.
If my fighters lose, they lose. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, Baumgardner beat a mother who just gave birth, who was accused of having eye problems and being off for 2.5 years.
Right.
You want to call it getting your lick back? You could call it getting your lick back. But my thing is, you were worried enough that you had to poke something in your skin.
Right. All right. We can talk about this all day. But I'm going to bring you back. We're going to have you back on, Brian. And chop it up with us some more about some other things. And you mentioned something funny, too, because he don't know this about the show, but he mentioned about it's a good conspiracy theory. And, that's one of Rock's segments. That's why Rock has a segment on conspiracy theories. He got all kind of man. If you listen to this man,
boxing in and of itself is one big conspiracy.
He got so many.
Oh man,
it is. Boxing
man got the craziest conspiracy theories, man. It drives me
crazy.
crazy.
Don't do that.
Man,
boxing in and of itself.
Listen, man,
it ain't so much a conspiracies. It's conspiracies, but it's really rooted in valid observation.
What the hell does that mean? What the hell? See, that's a lawyer, man. Listen, we ain't got Brian. Listen, man, we gotta let Brian go. That's the attorney talk. You don't know what he said, man. I don't even.
Critical analytical thinking.
Right.
An observation in and of itself is an opinion,
without question. And they like assholes. Everybody got one.
Listen, but man. Anyway, Brian, it's a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. I appreciate it. And we're gonna have you back on. We're gonna talk about this some more. Anything you got coming up that you want to plug or anything going on you want to plug?
Nah, man, we just have some good female fighters coming up. I just signed Latyia Brown.
Yeah. I seen that. Pretty sharp. She's sharp too.
She's highly rated at 130 and 126. Yep. We also signed Elham Miklan, who challenged Baumgardner. She's 16-2. I actually have a bunch of people. I'm trying to stack that division, believe it or not, in the hope that the title does splinter. Christina's top rated in that division. I also have a young lady. She has not a sparkling record, but a good record. She just, her last 3 opponents are like a combined of like 44-12.
Right.
Carla Torres, and she's rated number 2 in the U.S. right now. So at 130. So I got a bunch of people in that division in case anything does break out. I'm gonna snatch them titles up.
Last point.
Man, we gotta go.
Quick point. What I will say this way right here, I know you have that contract in place with her. One of the things you can do is use that as a negotiating piece chip to get fights with your fighters.
Tell him that offline. Why would you tell him that? Somebody gonna watch this and then when he tried, they go, "Oh, he got that up."
It don't matter though,
man.
A contract is a contract. Right. They locked in. If she signed, if the contract got considered,
but we gotta go, bro. We sitting here. Listen,
bro, we gotta ride this out.
Brian,
appreciate you, bro.
Brian, what's give him your social media and all of that.
You can just grab me Bionic Bull 215 on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I don't do Twitter too much. I don't have time for all that.
You mean X? Be careful.
You said Bionic Bull.
Bionic Bull 205.
Gotcha.
And Bionic Bull 215.
215. I'm at 205 is your area code, Alabama. Hey, let Mr. McWater know we want to get him on here and talk to Mr. McWater. I haven't seen him ever do any interviews.
I have a conference call with him tomorrow at 4.
Yeah.
I'll let him know.
You ever seen him do any interviews? I never seen him do interviews.
I just followed you.
He doesn't do much. Yeah. He really doesn't do much. I think right now he's a bit under the weather.
Yeah,
he's been dealing with a couple health issues, but
maybe he'll make an exception for me.
Hopefully. Of course he will, man. Yeah. You know he loves you guys. You know what I'm saying? He loves you, man.
Yeah.
Anything for Sheik. Take care of Sheik. So,
yeah. Well, I still ain't got my package.
Yeah, bro. Look in the text message for that one.
All right, Brian. Brian Cohen, y'all. Split T Management, my manager extraordinaire. All of the female boxers. So, all right, Brian. Talk to you later.
Appreciate you. Nice meeting you, Rock.
You too, brother.
All right, bro.
Yeah, man. That was a good interview, man. The provision. I wanted to have him on to talk about the performance enhancement drugs, but it kind of really got into that contract, man. That was
that was a golden nugget.
Yeah,
because he's right. He's sitting on. He understands boxing. He's been around too.
Right.
And if he collects now.
Hold on, wait a minute. We forgot to get the bell. Micah, give us the bell, man. That was the end of the. Thank you. And he didn't give us the bell on the.
Mike got into the interview.
Yeah.
But it's that contract. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Plus he knows it's good.
Yeah,
and he do have some statute of limitations thing he got to think about. But if he lets it stack up on her, as opposed to taking it a piece at a time, then he gonna know he gonna grab a bigger piece of the pie.
Right.
And somebody's going to pay him at some point. So he understands the business of boxing.
Right.
Or the contracts, rather.
All right. I want to shift gears a little bit real quick. We talked about your conspiracy theories.
Factual-based conspiracy theory. Go ahead.
And I know you got a conspiracy dealing with the business of boxing versus Bill and Devin Haney.
Absolutely.
Let me hear it.
I think that Devin and really Bill Haney.
Right.
So Devin's the boxer, is DHP promotion. Devin the youngest promoter in boxing probably ever. But the brains behind that outfit is his father, Bill Haney. I met Bill, got a lot of respect for him. I think that Bill took an unconventional route in regards to his son's career. Number one, he had the means to do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can follow in their footsteps, my son now. But with a different tact in it, because Chad's at Morehouse. But I think the way that Bill, the approach that Bill took the boxing.
He had him in Mexico for a while.
Fighting in Mexico at 16,
right.
17 years old.
He headlined the show here at Terry Moss.
We were there.
That was just what? How long ago was that?
Oh, that was 2018.
That's what I'm saying. That wasn't that long ago. I remember he was
5 years ago. But we met. That's where I first met Bill Haney at Buckhead Fight Club.
Right.
But I think that when they first started out, people didn't really care. You fighting in Mexico, fighting cab drivers, fighting in hostile environments, whatever you want to say.
Man, they was fighting in Tijuana.
Yeah, they fighting in Tijuana. Right. Lucky they didn't get robbed down there or get killed or worse.
Yeah.
But so I think that people didn't really pay that much of attention. But as Devin did his job, beating people, being who he was supposed to be, taking on all comers from that standpoint. And I think that Bill and Devin really kind of just snuck up on him. Working with Showtime and watching and Showbox. If you think about it, you never see those ShoBox, or rarely see those boxes on ShoBox have their own specials in regards to where, they kind of, how they do the highlight of the fact, they do the stories and stuff like that, do they train and get some background information. I probably seen that twice. I think I saw one with Boots Ennis, and I saw one with Devin Haney. So what they were able to do was to take that, parlay it off into getting a huge deal with Matchroom, right? And I just think that because boxing is a solo and it's an individual sport, but it's also a team sport. And I think that because they didn't have a traditional route and have all the leeches hanging on to them, sucking them dry, the 2 and 3 and 4 managers with like our other agreement, with Coach Cohen said, with all these sidebar agreements and things like that are in place, hamstringing them, I think that people really got, pissed off with it. They bad for the business, the normal course of the business of boxing, because people are not able to eat off of Devin the way that they're able to eat off of other boxers.
So how do you say the business of boxing versus them though? How are they being affected by the business of boxing?
You can look at how they were being shut out. Devin was calling for Lomachenko and the best boxers in the world when he was 19, 20 years old.
Right.
And was highly ranked and couldn't get a fight.
Well, that happens all the time though.
Yeah, it does happen. It does happen all the time. But if you look at the resentment that they get and how they try to get shut out. Top Rank was mad at Devin because, remember Devin fought on a pay-per-view card on Top Rank show, but wasn't on the actual show. Right. But I think they probably at that point in time he wasn't getting paid no money, so they probably paid and bought their way onto the show from that standpoint and paid their opponent and whatnot, which is part of the business of boxing. Right. But as Devin grew, all the big names wanted to sign him. Well, why would Top Rank and these other people want to do business with the Haneys from that standpoint when they couldn't when they know they weren't going to be able to eat off of them and take advantage of them? I think he ended up signing when he.
But do you have any proof that happened though?
The proof is in the pudding. You can look at how they try to stay up. The boy had to bag his way off into some fights. Look what he had to do. The boy had to give. He almost had to give up an order.
He's an undisputed champion right now.
He's an undisputed champion right now.
Right.
Or was. Yeah.
No,
right
he
now.
is. He's the current undisputed champion.
But look at the build up. Look at the build up coming up to it. All right. First off, nobody wanted to fight him. Let's be factual.
Okay, so you think he's kind of bitter right now because you see him when he the situation with Shakur when he wanted to give him the 25%.
He got a right to. Look what the boy went through. Shakur been silver spoon all the way through this whole situation. Now he been silver spoon on the surface, taken advantage of, from what I understand, in regards to the business of boxing.
Right.
But he got a lot of people eating off of him. Devin don't have all them people eating off him. And when you don't have all them leeches eating off of you, then the leeches are gonna hate. That's as plain and simple as that. They're gonna hate, they're gonna try to stalemate. Okay.
But I'm just trying to figure out, I just want you to make it clear to me how the business of boxing is against Bill and Devin Haney. Make it clear to me. I still don't understand. I hear everything you're saying, but
how the business of boxing is, how they hate and how they try to block the Haneys is in regards to trying to deny them access. Now they can't do it so much right now. To the biggest fights and the biggest person.
But he's the undisputed champion.
But look, he had to sell an organ to get there. The man had to first off, he's a world champion, the WBC champion.
Right.
All right.
He was a WBC champion for first he was the regular champion.
No. First he was the
interim,
youth world champion.
Right. Then they promoted him
all the way up
to the super champion.
He walked and then walked all the way up, right? And then what happened?
What happened?
They elevated the franchise belt to being the super or the regular champion or whatever it was. Remember now, before Devin got the Kambosos fight, right? Before Devin got the Kambosos fight, they said that the WBC essentially said that Devin had a secondary champion. They negated his upper level championship belt to a secondary belt.
Right.
In order for the Teofimo Lopez George Kambosos fight to be supposedly for undisputed. The problem is that everybody knows that it was some BS.
Right.
But that's what the WBC. Now the WBC did this to Devin, even though Devin has walked up the ranks and done everything they wanted him to do all along the way. And they had to just sit there and be quiet. Then what happened? Teofimo Lopez lose. Okay, now Teofimo Lopez lose. Lomachenko supposedly somewhere in Ukraine fighting the war or whatnot. Now, okay, boom. Kambosos needs to have a big money fight. What does he do? So now we're gonna fight Devin Haney. What Devin Haney got to do? Devin Haney got to sign with Top Rank. He got to sign with Lou DiBella. He got to lead Eddie Hearn. So what the business of boxing do? Okay, yeah, you done made it all this way.
But do you think that's because? And we got to close out on this. We got to close out on this topic because we got to still. But do you think? Do you think that this has something to do with them and what they was going to accept? Because I say that because it only makes sense. They didn't sign with Top Rank. They signed a fight per fight deal with them.
Yeah, but that means they were signed with Top Rank for 3 fights.
Right, but it's a per fight deal. That's a smart move. So do you really believe that it's the business of boxing versus them, or them versus the business of boxing?
I think it's both, but I think their road has been made bumpier.
Probably because that's the road that they wanted to take.
And it's the business of boxing, but it's also outside the business of boxing. Because see, Devin. I think that boxing, they also have a problem with Devin because of where he come from. He don't come from no hard scrabble background. That's another topic. Whether or not you got to grow up with roaches in your cereal in order to be in order to have a dog in you and be a good boxer. From that standpoint, that's another idiocy of boxing from the standpoint of the fact that you got to come from a hard scrabble background from that standpoint. And that just because you got resources, everybody in boxing who boxing pole want resources so that they can actually do the sport.
I highly respect Devin and Bill Haney, and they're my Muslim brothers. Assalamu alaikum. Bill and Devin, I mean, but I think it was more so the flip side of what you're saying. I think it's Bill and Devin versus the business of boxing. I don't think the business of boxing is against them. I think they bucked the system and went their direction and made it what they wanted it to be.
You're right.
That's what I believe.
But when you the system and you being bucked,
right,
you ain't gonna buck back.
Yeah, but But that's what I'm saying. I think they came up. But listen, Devin chose to leave the amateurs and go fight at 16 years old because he could have went to the Olympics.
No, he was too young.
I know, but I'm saying that he could have stayed.
But then he'd have been 20. Then he'd have been. But had he stayed in 16, he'd have been fighting in 2021 Olympics.
Right,
like Keyshawn Davis.
Right. But what I'm saying is he was a top amateur boxer. Mm-hmm. He took a big chance on himself to turn pro at 16 years old.
Without question.
As opposed to staying with USA Boxing, being on Team USA and getting paid there and continuing to mature. He took a big chance on himself. Nobody was going to take a chance on. Only people they taking a chance on like that don't look like us. Like Xander Zayas. He turned pro at 16 and signed with Top Rank. They ain't doing nobody else like that. But I think that they took a chance on themselves and they believed, and I think Bill believed in his product. He believed in his son.
Without question. And I think the business of boxing and the hood of boxing got the hood of boxing.
What do you mean hood? We gotta get ready to close on this topic.
The street level element of boxing that permeates the sport.
Yeah.
That permeates the sport in regards to mentality from that standpoint. But when they get in the boardroom sitting, they some babies because they ignorant.
Okay, well, we talk.
But I think you're right though. I think it's the business of boxing versus the Haneys.
Yeah.
And I think it's the Haneys versus the business of boxing from that standpoint. And then I think it's the Haney versus the hood of boxing.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears and talk about some amateur boxing news. We got Alycia Brown-EL joining us. Alycia is 18-time national champion. Team USA. She went to the Youth Worlds last year. She won a bronze medal over there at the Youth Worlds, and she just got back from Germany from the Brandenburg tournament. The Brandenburg in Germany, she won a gold medal, best female boxer of the tournament, etc. So Sarai's been around a long time, and she's been dominating. So I think she has. I think Sarai has some good knowledge of boxing and good knowledge of amateur boxing. She kind of knows. But I want to shift gears and talk about the Olympic trials coming up in December the 2nd through the 9th in Lafayette, Louisiana. The Olympic trials, USA Boxing. I mean the Olympic trial, USA Boxing Olympic trials. I said that was right. As well as the national championships. But I want to talk about Sarai, who do you think we should be watching in the trials coming up? Who do you think we should be watching? Male and female. Besides yourself. You're gonna be in the trial. Sarai's gonna be in the trials. Sarai missed all of the Sarai missed all of the qualifiers because she is only 17, but she'll be 18 next week. So she'll get a wild card because she won at national championships last year, and she also won the. She also medaled at the Youth World, so she'll be an
automatic qualifier if you win.
Well, she got to get a wild card. Because she wasn't 18, so she's gonna have to get a wild card because she would have had to compete in in the qualifiers. But anyway, who do you think we should be watching in the trials? We just had the last chance qualifiers. Listen, I was impressed. I watched some of the fights and the qualifiers, and I was impressed with Troy Nash from Colorado. Troy Nash was in the 139-pound elite male division.
He moved up.
Yeah, 139.
He's been fighting at 32.
Yeah, where Troy fought? 32? Sorry, where was Troy fighting? 25? I think he been at 39.
No, he fought at 32.
No, he didn't fight. Wait, he elite, right?
He beat Sequin Moses at 32 in Texas.
Yeah. But that's not an Olympic weight though.
No, it's not. 39 is.
Yeah. And we're gonna have Troy on here too. Troy, me and Troy's dad is.
He fought at 39.
Yeah, but he fought at 39 at the qualifiers, and he 56-man bracket that he went through.
No, he's nice.
Wait, I see a lot of like the people from the team that's like active for the trials. I thought they didn't have to fight in the trials.
I don't know what I seen that too. That the people on the team, I'm not sure what that's about.
He's just been trying to get some work.
Because I see Yoselin, I see
Yoselin Perez.
Yeah, I see Jahida.
So we really don't know where a lot of them are going to be ending up at as far as weight divisions because they qualify at different times. But who do we like? Who do you like, Sarah? Who do you think we should be looking out for?
Well, if they are fighting, then
I mean, just forget the division they in because we don't know because some of them qualified in multiple weight divisions. So
here's a question: has a team already been chosen for the most part?
See, now you're getting off into a conspiracy again. We'll be here all night with that.
The people that we should be watching, Amir Anderson. I watch him.
Amir's
in the trials.
Amir Anderson. Obed is another one. I was really
from Huntsville.
Yeah, man, I was really.
Barty.
I kind of knew. I knew Obed was going. He lost at the summer festival.
For something dumb too.
Yeah, he lost because he kept spitting his mouthpiece out. Like 3 times he spit his mouth. His mouthpiece came out his mouth. Like, boy, why wouldn't you have a mouthpiece of lock in your mouth? So he got disqualified because he would have won his bracket. Yeah. So he ended up having to come to the last chance qualifier.
How old is he? He about 21.
Man, how old is Obed? Is he 20?
I think so.
Obed. We'll have him on
But
too. We're gonna
Ben
have
Johnson. He's I
hold
think
on, but
him and Amir is in the same bracket.
Ben Johnson and Amir. Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be.
But
I think they'll meet up in the end.
Obed was another one. I think he had like a 50-man bracket too in the last chance qualifier, and he was 176.
Oh shoot.
What?
Keon Davis in that bracket too.
In the 156?
And yeah, it's a lot of people in this bracket.
156? Oh wow. Keon Davis and Amir
Anderson and Ben Johnson.
Listen, I tell you this, I'm not gonna sleep on Amir. I'm not gonna sleep on Amir because, I mean, I've always liked Amir, right? But I'm not gonna sleep on him because his first elite tournament, he just ran through everybody. The first, what tournament was that? Was that the Summer Festival?
Yeah, no, that was nationals.
Yeah, and he was on it. Amir was on the team with Sarai. They went to the Youth Worlds. He was on the youth team with Sarai. They went to the Youth Worlds, and then he went elite. And then, Brock, you there?
I'm here. I'm just listening.
Look like you checked out, man.
No, I'm listening.
All right. Then Amir went to. He had his first elite tournament, and he ran through it. It was a deep bracket, just like this one.
Oh, these brackets is crazy.
Who?
125. They got Julius Ballo, Steven Navarro.
Oh yeah.
Then they got William Luther, and they got.
Didn't Steven?
Is that for the Olympic? Is that for the Olympics or that for the last
trials?
Zay Quinn Moses.
Yeah, it's Julius Ballo. Yeah.
This the trials. This is the bracket for the trials.
Yeah, 125 is the high bracket.
And Ramir Walker, all in one bracket.
Lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
William Luther, Steven Navarro, Julius Barlow.
Oh boy from Baltimore.
Who?
Zay Quinn Moses. Yeah.
Who from Baltimore?
William Luther.
He's from DC.
No, not Luther. The
Lungs.
No, the little short dude.
Lungs.
No.
Lungs.
Not Lungs.
Lungs is from New York.
I know you're talking about Ramir Walker. I'm talking about the guy
who's
been going overseas boxing. He about 20.
Oh, Amir?
No,
he says short.
Oh.
Amir's tall.
No, he fight at 125, real athletic, switching. I think he beat Ballo. But it's he's been on the team. I'm forgetting this boy's name.
Well, check back in at him.
Yeah.
I see you checked out.
And then
check back in
139.
you figure his name.
Dedrick Crocklin,
Troy.
Troy, and Vershawn Lee. And
All right,
Garrett
who do we
Rice.
like at that bracket? That's the bracket listen. I was trying to have a show in Atlanta, and I was trying to match Dedrick and
Jamal Harvey.
I was trying to match Dedrick.
That's
and,
125.
Oh, yeah. That's Jamal.
And I was trying to match Dedrick and Troy,
But-
so that's the fight I'm looking to see.
Dedrick and Troy.
Yes.
Jamal Harvey is like the number one in that bracket, though, 125, right?
Listen, man, we talking about 39 right now.
39. That's go back.
39. I still like Troy. I like Troy to win. That boy is. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something about Troy Nash.
Even though he just moved up.
Troy Nash.
This is his first fight at 39.
This is his first elite tournament.
This is his first elite
he just went through 56 bracket. Yeah. Let me tell you something about Troy. Troy is probably the most underrated that ever. He done flew under the radar for years. Boy, I don't even know how many titles he got. He got a lot of them. I think he got 15, 16 titles. And he just flew under the radar. People,
He's nice. I watched him.
Nah, he flew under the radar.
Troy Nash nice.
Then 112, Roscoe Hill. He invited. Then it's Eli. Jordan Roach, Marcellus.
Eli, Georgia boy.
Ryan Williams.
Eli Langford. I like Eli, man. Yeah. I like Eli. Eli done fought them a couple of times. Eli came up short a couple of times, but I really like Eli. I love Eli since he was little anyway.
What, did Ryan Williams not make it? Or did he move
No,
up?
he's in there.
Yeah.
But he moved up to 119 to fight. I guess he tried to qualify at another weight class, but he there at 112.
19 is not a division. Though.
Yes, it is.
It's an Olympic division?
Yeah.
No,
No, it's not.
No, for men.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
never mind.
Yeah.
It's not. But he fought at 119 for this one. I don't know.
It's
He could have qualified at 119.
I thought they only had Olympic weight classes in the trials.
I thought so too.
But he fought at 119. It's not on there.
119 is not an Olympic weight class.
But that's the weight he fought at.
For women, it is.
But you could qualify for the trials at a non-Olympic weight class though.
Oh shoot!
That's
So 176 got
that's
Obed, Nathan, and Ethan Smith.
Yeah. Yep. That's gonna be fire. Obed just beat Ethan. That's who he beat in the last chance. He beat Ethan yesterday.
I didn't
Saturday.
even see that. I didn't even know they was in the same bracket.
So is Obed the number 1 seed?
Obed is the number 1 seed. That's bracket is gonna be crazy. Of course, I got 2 people in there I care about, Nathan Lugo and Obed Baumgardner. They 2 people that I have ties to, and that's gonna be a fire
Ethan is
bracket.
good too. He long and he know how to move fast.
I think him and Obed. I missed the fight. I tried to catch it, but I missed it. I think Obed won by a split decision. It was 3-2 split.
Yeah, he good. Like he fast for like being long. Like he know how to use his length, but sometimes he like to get too close up.
Yeah, it was a 3-2 split. So I'm assuming it was a really good fight.
Are they seeding them currently? Have they been seeded yet? Or they're just showing the brackets?
Yeah, they just showing the list of who's there, who's gonna be there.
So for the girls, 165 is the heaviest weight class.
Who's there?
Stephanie Simon. Only people I know is Stephanie Simon and I don't know why, but I just seen. Okay. Stephanie Simon for some reason is in 2 weight classes.
That's what because they qualified.
146 and 165.
Yeah, they qualified at multiple weight classes.
Okay, she's active at 1. She declined
They qualified.
the invitation.
They qualified it. You'll see people in there a couple times because they qualified.
No, she's active at
multiple
146. So at 146 is Stacia, Stephanie. I don't know.
Who you like in that bracket?
And Ariana Carrasco.
Who you like?
Ariana Carrasco. I like Ariana. And all 3 of them is good. That I don't know the rest.
So we're not gonna say where Sarai's going yet.
But I like Stacia, Stephanie.
We're gonna keep it quiet. But we'll be in those elite. We'll be in those trials. Not gonna say where she's going at though.
This is a good bracket right here too. 132. Daisy Bamberger.
Yeah.
Jalicia
Yeah.
Rashida Ellis.
Oh yeah.
Jahida Gonzalez.
Oh, that's
Jahida. Is that Joette Gonzalez's sister?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think she got.
Yeah,
I know she got a brother. Sierra Martinez and Faith Mendez. They all in the same bracket.
I know Sierra Martinez.
Paige is there too because
Paige.
She fought Sierra yesterday.
Is invited too.
Is it Jahida or Jahira?
Jahira.
I hear people say Jahida.
That's Joette Gonzalez's sister.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One who fought Shakur at 26.
Yeah.
They had the big old controversy going on because Shakur was dating his sister. Dating at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't.
That was ugly.
Well, I remember they was dating, but I didn't know they had a.
It was ugly.
Yeah.
Then this bracket, 125. Wait. Oh, okay. Daisy not in 132. She didn't decline. She's in 125. So she's in there with Lupe.
Who you think?
Wait a minute. Okay, Sierra's invited at 132, but she's active at 125.
Yeah.
So it's Sierra, Yoselin, Sharamay Patricio, Jasmine Hampton, Lupe, and Elise Soto. She was at the youth selection camp.
Oh, okay.
At 125.
Well, we should have some very interesting brackets for the trials a couple months out. So we should have some interesting brackets. It's a couple of people as we.
Wait, Yoselin is active at 125 and 119.
I just told you why that is. They qualified in multiple.
But I'm saying the rest of them, they not active in 2. Like one of them would be like invited and one active.
Yeah, I think Kayla Gomez is too at 112 and 119.
Didn't Nate qualify in 3 spots?
Nate just qualified at the last chance qualified at 189.
Oh yeah,
and he's qualified at 176. Nathan is qualified at 2. Nathan Lugo, he's qualified in 2.
But I don't see Alyssa anyway. Oh,
she's in there. She's at 125.
I don't see her on here.
Oh, because she's on the team.
But so is.
I know. I don't know why they did. I don't know why they did that. That's because it wasn't like that at first.
119, Natalie Dove, Kayla Gomez, Lupe.
Yeah.
Chantel Navarro.
A lot of that's going to
Rodriguez.
change. A lot of the list that they got there now is going to change because some people going to fall out, some people not going to attend, some people going to turn pro, as well as we also going to, I want to see how things shake up in the next couple of weeks, next month or so. Once registration opens up, want to see how things shake up, and then we can make some predictions. It is some people that I'm watching heavily and think it's people I expecting to see, and then
elite female.
Yeah.
Giselle Bobabdila. I don't know how to say her last name. Irene Diaz, Kayla Gomez, Esmeralda Gonzalez. I think I know who that is. Noelle Haro, Zoe Hicks, Priscilla Medina. I know who that is. Shailene Patricio, Lexis Ramirez, and Marina Tover Lopez. I don't know who that is.
So that, I think we'll start seeing some changes. Then we can make some predictions. But I'm looking forward to these.
Where the Medeiros is at?
I don't see her.
But she lost. Jada Lee. Mm-hmm. She lost She lost to Irene Diaz. She lost to her, early on in the tournament. Because they got the number 1 and number 2. They punching their ticket to the trials. Yeah. But the trials, I think, is going to be very interesting. Can't wait to see it. And your question that you asked, your conspiracy, I guess we could talk about that too at some point. Do they already have the team chosen? I think it's still some work that's got to be done. But for the most part, I think
they have their best picks. Right
if
now.
You win at the trials, is it an automatic that you're going to be on the team?
No, because if the ones that's on the team now go to the Pan Am Games and qualify, only thing you could be is an alternate. You just will be fighting at the trials to become an alternate. But next year they'll have other qualifying tournaments as well for if you do win at the trials.
And you could probably fight one of the team.
Yeah.
Like at the tournaments.
They'll have a selection camp in January.
They'll probably put you in the same bracket.
Right. They put you in the same bracket.
So you got the trials, then you got the selection camp.
It'll almost be like that invitational they did, where they put like some of the same Team USA in the same bracket. And
right.
Even if you win at the selection camp, are you guaranteed to be on the team?
Well, the selection camp don't work like that. It's not winning. It's they grade you.
That's what they. Okay, that's what
so
they.
So they point you on what you do.
They grade
that's at the camp itself. They take into consideration how you clean your room and everything.
Yeah, personality.
How you fit in with people.
How you smile.
How you.
Whether or not you got high cheekbones. If you early, you can box too.
If you early.
Well,
if you early or not.
How articulate you are. Like that. Whether you got good home training.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
how you get along with the coaches.
Yeah. So you
how
on the
good
team.
You listen.
You already on the team then, right? You done made it. It's a wrap.
Well,
you got all that
year's
now.
over.
Huh?
The youth year's over.
And you can fight.
If she not on. She gonna be on. She'll be in the trials, and we'll see. So anyway,
you the golden girl. You the black Oscar. Golden girl.
All right. So anything? Any last moments? Anything we want to say? Rock to close. We got to close out.
Been a pleasure.
Yep.
Been a pleasure. Can't wait till the next round.
Yeah.
Can't wait till the next date. The next fight date.
Yeah. So, as time goes on, we're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna discuss these hot topics and talk about historical moments and all of these type of things. We're also going to, we'll have Sarayan to do our amateur boxing highlights and things like that as well. So,
that's cool.
Yeah. So, anyway, thank you all for tuning in to Counterpunch Conversations. I ask that you hit that link and subscribe. Go to our Instagram page, Counterpunch_conversations, and follow us there. And just stay tuned for everything that we're going to be bringing to the table, all discussions we're going to have, the guests that we're going to have on, and, dialogue with us. Leave your comments and let us know how you what you think of the show. All right, so Rock, my man, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Sarai.
All right, champ.
All right, and I want to thank everybody that's been a part, that's being a part. I want to thank our engineer, producer, all of that. Micah Brown-EL.
The boxer.
Yeah, sound guy. You can follow Micah too.
And the engineer.
Yeah, and the engineer.
And Issa in the loft.
And thank my boy Keyshawn from Atlanta Basement Studios. Go to Google and check them out. Go to what's your Instagram? ATL Basement Studios. Yeah, check my boy out, Keyshawn, good guy. All right, y'all. Well, that's it. Till next time.
Episode number 1.